Ready. Play.
Well, I was going to ask there because I know that Australia is his big goal because it's only Slam he hasn't won. I heard him speaking after the MGC Cup, the exhibition with Ben Shelton, etc. And he said, no, I really want this one. And I just wondered, heart and head, then Scott. I'm sure you're wanting the duo of Djokovic and Murray to win it, but does the head say that this is Sinner or Alcaraz that will be the favourites going into this one?
Yeah, you know what? Like this is the major for me. Like the Australian Open, all the players are coming in fresh. All the players are coming in rejuvenated from the off season. This is one of the most open Australian Opens, I think, in terms of who knows where we're all at. Like as the season gets underway. If I was a betting man, I mean, I have to go. It's Novak Djokovic. He's got
His
Andy
time,
Murray.
Jam.
Like, what an absolute
What a story.
dream team like that would be. And I've already said it, and I'm going to say it right here too. Is I just think there would be no better moment than Novak Djokovic lifting the Australian Open trophy and looking up at Andy Murray and saying thank you to Andy. And then afterwards, both of them, Andy Murray finally getting his hands on the Australian Open trophy as well. And there's a photo of them both with the trophy.
That
Like
sounds
how?
like a wet dream of yours.
Oh my gosh! I think I would just lose my mind, and I think I will lose my mind because that's what's going to happen, in my opinion. Jack, you agree, don't you? You agree, Jack, right?
Heart and head, as Tom said. Let's put it this way: if Novak plays his best, I think he beats Yannick on a hard court. Will he play his best? We'll see. But head, I don't think he will. That's genuinely what I'm thinking. And I think Yannick on a hard court is making everybody play things they don't want to play, and it's like he's just hitting the ball so well. Like on a hard court, it's so difficult to live with him. So it would have to be an absolutely phenomenal performance if those two do get matched up. So if I was a betting man, I would have to go Yannick. I don't want to, but that's how I'm feeling.
Well, it may be a different ball game in a month's time. I think Djokovic is playing Adelaide, so we'll have a quick look at him. I don't know if Jannik Sinner is playing anywhere before it. I know he didn't last year, and he ends up winning his first slam there. So, I don't know if there's anything else, you guys. It's been a joy reliving this one. Is there anything else, Scott or Jack, you guys want to add or throw into the mix? I can see John popping about there in the background.
Jack, you got anything?
We've said what we need to say. We know how both Tom, I'm sure, knows how excited we are for the next season. It's definitely sparked something in me in terms of tennis watching. I'm really excited to see how it goes. For Novak as well as Andy, obviously, I'm in the same boat as Scott. I'm a bit of a Novak fan too. So
yeah, and I would, I just think for me, like as somebody, and like I do classify myself as a general tennis fan, but I was a bigger Andy Murray fan for sure. And so like part of my interest in tennis did kind of fade a little bit with Andy retiring. I did take a lot more time, not watching tennis. And so this news for me is like blockbuster news. Brilliant. I'm pumped up. I'm excited. And,
maybe he knew that. Yeah. Maybe he knew that you'd stop watching tennis.
So. In fact, you know what? Realistically, I think that might be the case. I actually do think that is it. So I would like to take a moment to say thank you very much to Novak and Andy for specifically doing that for me.
Good. Yeah. Good. Well, that's been good then. John, cheers, I don't know if you want to jump in.
I will if you've got 2 minutes. I'll cut this into a separate video, I think. But and I haven't got my mic on or anything, but hopefully you can hear me okay. What would you do, Scott, as an Andy fan, and you as well, Jack? Although I think Jack is a bit more of a purist than probably Scott and I. And I'm a Rafa fan. What would we do if these giants left the sport and the vacuum? Scott, I think you're the first and probably the best person to speak on this, because I would be interested to hear. Let's just say, Andy has his 2 or 3 months with Novak, and then it's just you and Casper Ruud left in the tennis world.
Yeah.
Imagine the whole tennis world got wiped out Just you and Casper hitting each other.
Oh my
And I mean,
gosh.
hitting.
What a nightmare that would be. No, you know what? I wasn't sure how I would actually feel like after Andy's retirement, and you know, I could wax lyrical about it, but like it is just realizing that there's nobody that you know invigorates you enough to really take time out your day to you know like sit down and watch an entire tennis match. Nobody else is ever gonna you know get me up at 3-4 a.m. in the morning to watch him. Like even though I love Novak a huge amount, like nobody else in the world will get me to do that. And like that is why I have said I'm super jealous of people who can just watch tennis neutrally, just without any invested interest, because you know, to be able to do that and to be able to just enjoy, you know, all tennis matches quite equally, I think that must be, it's like it must be a talent or something like that, because I think it's because I do see tennis in a similar way to like what Jack was saying earlier. Like I do see like them as characters, and it's like my favorite character. It's like my favorite character just disappearing from, you know, my favorite story, and like the story is not the same after your favorite character goes. So yeah, I don't know, it's very left me feeling very despondent and very, you know, I guess sad, right? But
because you knew it was going to come, but you just didn't know how you were going to feel when it came.
For sure, absolutely. And there was such a build up to it as well. Andy had to drag me along through a few heartbreaks along the way, didn't he, this year? So yeah, it just feels very sad. And like, so that's why I'm clinging on to Novak. And now, of course, Andy along the way. Because I think when he goes, I will, you know, I'm going to be watching Carlos, of course. You know, I'm a fan of the new generation. It's not my generation anymore. So
Yeah,
I don't know. That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Tom?
Yeah, I was just thinking through that. What would be the next kind of bombshell storyline? And I was just thinking, is there an avenue for Nadal to maybe jump on a kind of Carlos coaching bench, something again?
Well,
I just
I think we'll have something to say about that. But
yeah, but I mean, it'd just be
but both of
a
us,
Spanish
Jack as well,
loving.
I mean,
Yeah.
but you, Tom, and Jack as well. Jack, obviously, in particular with tennis, but Tom, can you watch a football match without any interest in it at all and enjoy it? Because I find it. I would like to support one or the other team and want a particular outcome. And same with tennis. I like to lean. And sometimes, by the way, much to Scott's chagrin, I'm leaning towards Casper sometimes when I'm watching a tennis match.
Casper. I've been harping on about Casper for a while. No, I can. I think I can. I mean, I watched Spurs and Chelsea yesterday, and I don't care either way who wins that football match.
And
And
do
I
you
can do
still
the same
enjoy
with
it?
tennis. Yeah, just as long as there's goals. I think if you're watching a 0-0, you'll turn off after about 40 minutes going, I've got no interest in this. But with tennis, no, I can do it if I can get into matches in a row. A Batista Agut match that's usually 3 sets, I'll fire that on. So yeah, no, I don't mind doing that. But I do think there's more to it. I think, you know, I'm probably this next generation. I do like my Carlos over Sinner. That's the way it would be. So I think, you know, I will go look at the schedule and go, right, Carlos is playing then, so I'll go for that.
Jack, can you focus and hone in and watch my moustache and be neutral on it?
You look like an airline pilot from the World War II.
I think, you know, I'm definitely, you're right, I'm more of a tennis purist, and I probably could just chuck on a match and watch it and enjoy it. I would say, though, since Andy has left, I don't find myself just chucking on matches quite as often. It's not really... To be honest, if I watched a match at my club, I might enjoy that just as much as putting on a professional match. I quite like seeing the ebbs and flows of tactics, whether it's at the highest level or the lowest level. So that's kind of what interests me, and you know, it's how players face other players, and that's all quite a coachy side of it, which I really like. So I'm a sucker for the narratives as well. You know, that's one side of it. I really do like the stories like Andy, and there are other stories that really interest me in the next gen as well, because I like a lot of those players too. But yeah, since Andy's gone, it's tough for me to latch onto those narratives quite as much.
Can Fernley bring you back?
Fernley could bring me back, yeah. If you speak.
I've been quite excited by him as well.
Yeah.
Like I saw him play Novak on centre court at Wimbledon, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. Had a good time with him. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see where
Yeah,
he goes.
absolutely. And I think it kind of like just in that vein, as Scott says, live tennis still excites me loads, and very, very high quality live tennis really excites me. So, you know, any tennis that's kind of pro, and watching it at a tournament with a glass of red wine in my hand at Wimbledon, for example.
Or bottle. Or bottle.
Can of Pimm's.
That really gets me excited. So yeah, there's still I still love my tennis, just pure and simple, but I need some stories for next year, I think, to really get me excited.
You'll have a Fernley Thinkers podcast.
I'll transition over. We'll change the name.
Yeah, by the way, Scott, your podcast has had a bit of life breathed into it anyway, I would say, for a few months.
It has, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, it has. It actually has. You know, we have, you know.
And musings as well has a kind of a coaching feel to it, that word, to muse. And
it's quite interesting because, of course, you've got me and Claire, who are big Andy fans and big Novak fans, and then you have Peter, who's a big Andy fan and not such a big Novak fan. So you've got some interesting discussions happening on over at Murray Musings EU. So yeah, we'll see, but we've certainly got some talking points to get through next year. So, yeah, we'll see.
Indeed. Guys, thanks very much. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.